Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is John Wellwood. And the title of today's message is Messy and Also Beautiful. Let's get into it. There is a beautiful paradox to being human. We are a glorious tapestry woven with vibrant threads of strength, resilience, and love, and also among these vibrant threads there are undeniably threads of imperfection, insecurities, and occasional stumbles inseparable from the woven whole. Hey somebody, good morning. It's good to see you. Hello. The question is not whether these so-called flaws exist. They do. The real question is whether they diminish our value or are essential to our beauty. And that is something only you can answer for yourself. The first thought from John Wellwood today is, you are flawed. You are stuck in old patterns. You become carried away with yourself. Indeed, you are quite impossible in many ways, and still you are beautiful beyond measure. For the core of what you are is fashioned out of love, that potent blend of openness, warmth, and clear, transparent presence. There is a messiness to being human, and most of us were taught that being less than perfect makes us unacceptable. The truth is that being a human animal means that we are both. We are messy and also beautiful. The next thought from John Wellwood is, spiritual bypassing is a term I coined to describe a process I saw happening in the Buddhist community I was in, and also in myself. Although most of us are sincerely trying to work on ourselves, I noticed a widespread tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or to avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, avoid facing psychological wounds and unfinished developmental tasks. When we are spiritually bypassing, we often use the goal of awakening or liberation to rationalize what I call premature transcendence, trying to rise above the raw and messy side of our humanness before we have fully faced and made peace with it. Hey Charlene, good morning. It's awesome seeing you. Hello. We don't step into the power of our light by pretending we don't have shadow. Don't run from any of this. Stay, sit, be with it. Growth doesn't spring from a place of self-punishment or striving for flawlessness. It blossoms from a place of self-acceptance and gentle forgiveness. So the next time you stumble, the next time your ego takes the wheel, don't run. Sit with it. Feel the discomfort. Feel the shame. Feel the anger. Hold those scared parts within you until they feel a little lighter. Then ask yourself, who am I being while I hold these scared parts? This simple question can be a powerful catalyst for self-discovery and acceptance. We don't do better because we stop making mistakes. We do better because we become a bit softer, a little bit gentler, and forgive a little bit easier, ourselves and also others. Today's meditation is called A Sense of Self. So if you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Here we go. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine. Slump down your shoulders and even drop your head. Continue your full body breathing on your own time. Become fully aware of the rise in your whole body as you inhale, and the softening that happens everywhere in your body as you exhale. Today's message is about the truth that we are, as humans, messy and also beautiful. Today's meditation is an invitation to our inner children to come and sit with us. The parts of ourselves that we might sometimes feel are quite messy. The examples I will use today are, let's call it the hurt part, a part of you that sometimes feels wounded by other people, feels wounded by life itself. Call that inner child closer. Then the inner critic too. The part of you that sometimes speaks to you in that harsh voice. Invite the inner critic to come and sit with you as well. And then the scared part. The part of you that perhaps sometimes feels fearful. Or the part of you that is sometimes ready for a full-scale panic attack. Call the scared part closer as well. Ask the scared part to come and sit with us. While you continue your full body breathing, rising and falling, ask these inner children to sit and breathe with you. I'm calling them inner children, although we certainly don't always experience these parts of ourselves as children. Sometimes we do, sometimes it feels like more adult parts of ourselves. However you experience them. We'll use the term inner children because we all understand what we mean by that. Take a moment to see or acknowledge or try to see the hurt part. What would that part of you perhaps look like? It's not important that you see a clear picture. It's just really helpful to be open to the possibility. Then the inner critic, that harsh voice that sometimes speaks in your inner world. What would that inner critic look like? And then the scared part of you. When your fears wake up, when your fears are really loud inside of you, what would that scared part look like? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and find comfort, or as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. And we're inviting these inner children to take these breaths with us. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, take a moment to focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. Lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. So as you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the reminder is that we are inviting some of our inner children for a conversation today. The examples I'm using are the hurt part, a part of you that perhaps feels wounded, the inner critic, the part of you that speaks to you in that harsh voice, and the scared part, a part of you that feels fearful. Bring these three inner children closer, and as you take your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, let these inner children know that today we are here to listen. We are here for them to be heard. Take your next big breath. We are turning our attention first to the hurt part. The part of you that perhaps sometimes feels wounded. This could be feeling wounded by very specific events, specific interactions with specific people. But we can pick up wounding just from daily life. As you call closer the hurt part, we're asking this hurt part to speak. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of what your thoughts, your feelings, your emotional space feel like when the hurt part is active. In those moments you feel wounded. Pay attention to the repetitive nature of these thoughts. It's very likely that every time you experience that woundedness, it's very likely that the same thoughts are on repeat again. For the moment, just let them surface. Remind yourself of what those thoughts feel like, sound like. Take your next big breath. We are extending our conversation with the hurt part by asking a question. Turn towards the hurt part. See if you can get an image of what the hurt part might look like. And as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask the hurt part this question. You can even say, hey, hurt part or scared little one, in those moments when you feel so scared, what is it that you're afraid is going to happen? What is it that you are afraid is going to happen? Then take your next big breath and just listen. Take a moment to acknowledge the hurt part. Thank you for being seen. Thank you for being heard. We know that it's a brave thing to do. We'll turn our attention now to the inner critic, that part of you that sometimes speaks to you in that really harsh voice, criticizing and judging. For the moment, as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of how that goes sometimes. How does that harsh inner voice speak? What does it say? What kind of accusations does it make? Remind yourself of the repetitive nature of this voice. This inner voice tends to say the same things over and over again. Take your next big breath. We'll extend the conversation with the inner critic by asking a question. Take a good look at this inner critic. And as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, say, hey, inner critic, I get the sense that perhaps you're trying to protect me, that perhaps you're trying to stop something bad from happening, some bad outcome that you're trying to prevent. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, this is the question. What is the bad thing you're trying to prevent? What is it that you're trying to protect me from? Then take your next big breath and just listen. Take a moment to acknowledge the inner critic. Thank you for being here for this conversation. Then we'll shift our attention to the scared part. The part of you that sometimes feels afraid. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask the scared part to speak. Remind yourself of what are the thoughts that go through your mind when you feel scared. And again, pay attention to the repetitive nature of these thoughts. It tends to be the same pattern that gets repeated every time you're scared. Take your next big breath and just listen. We'll extend our conversation with the scared part just a little bit by asking it a question, to turn towards the scared part. And as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask the scared part this question. Go, hey scared part. In those moments when you feel so scared, what is it that you really want for me? What is your deep desire for me? And take your next big breath and listen. Take a moment to acknowledge the scared part. Thank you for being seen. Thank you for being heard. It is a courageous thing to do. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath-holding space and into the next. We are inviting these inner children to be wherever it is that they want to be. Whatever comes to your mind is good. Would they like to just sit closer to you? Would they like to sit on top of you? Would they like to crawl inside of you? Or would they like to, like children, go off and play somewhere else? Wherever it is that they want to be, take them there. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in, how softness settles in every part of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more focus on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. We are made up of multitudes. We, each of us, exists as a collection of experiences. And the ways in which we experience ourselves is not confined to just one way of being, but a whole spectrum. Walt Whitman so beautifully described this. In simple words, he said, "Do I contradict myself? Very well then. I contradict myself. I contain multitudes." John Welwood's message to us today is that it doesn't help us to try and ignore the fact that we exist as a spectrum. It doesn't help us to ignore the biggest part of the spectrum and try and be this one idealized version we could call enlightenment. Now here's how this is really practical. We created space for the hurt part, the inner critic, the scared part, to be seen, to be heard, and to be held. Who are you while you're doing that holding? When you're able to listen to the hurt part speak, then you're not being the hurt part. You're being the holder, the space holder. When you can actually become present with that inner critic, not run and not numb and not hide, but let the inner critic speak and listen. Hold a space for even the inner critic to be heard. Then who are you being? You're not being the inner critic, you're being the space. You're being the space holder. John Welwood's message to us today is that we only become this space holder because we are facing these inner parts. Because we're not ignoring them, because we're not running from them, we are becoming the strongest part of ourselves. I'll read to you this one quote from him again. He says, "Spiritual bypassing is a term I coined to describe a process I saw happening in the Buddhist community that I was in, and also in myself. Although most of us were sincerely trying to work on ourselves, I noticed a widespread tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or to avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, unfinished developmental tasks. When we are spiritually bypassing, we often use the goal of awakening or liberation to rationalize what I call premature transcendence, trying to rise above the raw and messy side of our humanness, before we have fully faced and made peace with it. I love those last words, the raw and messy side of our humanness. And Wellwood suggests that we need to face and make peace with the raw and messy side. Because we are both. We are messy and also really friggin' beautiful. But when we are running from the messiness, we will never get to experience our beautiful nature. Thank you for becoming that space holder, for becoming arms strong enough to hold all of these inner children. And by doing that, you are the most beautiful part of yourself that you can possibly be. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and you are invited to say yours. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for being a messy human. The truth is, it's impossible to not be messy too. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having complete acceptance for being a messy human. Not trying to fight against the fact that I have flaws. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to be the part of me that can hold the messy human, the scared part, the hurt part, even the inner critic. Take a deep breath in. And thank you for learning and seeing so clearly that when I create space for these inner children to be held, then I'm not embodying those parts. If I'm really holding the hurt part, I'm not embodying that. But I am embodying the strongest part of me. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for shining as the strongest, most beautiful part of you. Thank you, Sunmari. Good morning, Eva. It's awesome having you slip into the space with us. Thank you, Charlene. Wishing you all a really beautiful day. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.